Corporate America, they want to own everything, and they want you to rent from them. Hey everybody, JJ here. It's Thursday, October 8th, 2020. We've got a lot of news to get into today. We're going to start right here. The housing bubble right now, which is being fueled by lending and surging demand with everything that's happening in the larger cities, the job losses, the escalation of the danger, the mega low, all-time low mortgage rates hitting all-time lows here, seems like every week. The deregulation of the banking system. They can now lend out unlimited amounts of money with no reserve requirements. It's absolutely off the charts. It's insane, but it's going to get even crazier. Let's talk about what's happening to single-family homes. We have corporate investors coming in buying thousands of homes. Now, we first saw this after the housing bubble went bust 2008. We saw heavy investor participation coming in. Companies like Black Knight, Invitation Homes, buying homes just to turn around and rent them back out. In some cases, people that lost their homes to foreclosures ended up renting the home back from the new landlord, in this case the corporation. Another excellent article today out of Wolf Street that talks about this. The big boys are back financializing single-family houses. So another one of the forces pushing home prices higher is corporate purchases. And in many cases, homes now are being built to rent out. Excerpt out of this article: American Homes for Rent is not only buying homes in the market, it's also massively building new homes specifically to rent out, and has become one of the most active home builders in recent months. And I have to correct myself. I think earlier I said Black Knight. Blackstone is actually the name of the company. Blackstone Group, which started Invitation Homes during the mortgage crisis, is now invested in $300 million in Tricon Residential, which owns over 30,000 single-family and multifamily units in the U.S. Those of you that are out there looking for homes to buy, in many cases, you're going to be competing and possibly getting into a bidding war against a corporation. It's an absolute nightmare for people that want to own a home, especially people that are seeing their rents go up and up and up, and they say, well, I might as well buy a home for what I'm paying in rent. And now you go out and you have multiple bids on a home because you have to, again, compete with these corporations. And this is a very difficult time for people. People are looking to relocate to lower their cost of living, lower home prices, lower property taxes. And the corporations know this. They know where the demand is, and they know they'll be able to rent the home out if they go into these areas. They're seeing the increased demand, and that's where the smart money's going. The corporations want to be your landlord. And down in this article, in the comments, there was the comment that said the following, quote, "Corporate America doesn't want you to own anything. They want to literally own everything and rent it back to you." Right? And when this next bus cycle hits, and it always does, the boom in the bus cycles, you're going to see a major escalation of the wealth transfer. You're going to see the ownership of these homes shift from the people that bought the homes that are over leveraged, that went out and took the mortgages and stretched their monthly payment to its limit. These people that are going to lose their homes are likely going to see the home bought out by a big company, big corporation. It's pretty sad, but that's where we're at in this economy, in this society, in this economic system. Speaking of wealth inequality and the wealth transfer, out of Bloomberg right here, the 50 richest Americans are now worth as much as the poorest 165,000 Americans. That's about half of the country's population. The same wealth as the top 50 richest Americans. I mean, how long can a society function with this type of wealth inequality? And we've seen this in other situations, other countries that have collapsed. We saw the ultra wealthy, even going back to Rome, we saw the ultra wealthy, the people at the top, the puppet masters. And just like then, now we see the puppet masters and the puppets in both parties, the right and the left. They get very wealthy also. And you have to ask yourself who your representatives work for. Do they work for you, or do they work for the puppet masters in corporate America? Recent article today out of USA Today. There's no stimulus deal in sight. We talked about the indefinite cancellation of the stimulus checks. Now more than ever, people need these checks. Out of the USA Today recent article, 1 in 5 Americans say they could be out of money by election day. 1 in 5, that's 20%. And can you imagine what's going to happen if something big is not done, some sort of rescue package? Right? We could be seeing more tents than homes. I mean, it's starting to look like that. Recent article here out of CNN, the U.S. debt is now projected to be larger than the U.S. economy. If anyone ever told you that this debt can ever be paid off, it's not true. It's impossible. There's no way we can ever pay off this debt. Right? They want you to believe that you're going to be on the hook for this debt, the working class, while corporations, they get tax loopholes. They end up paying zero or very small amounts of tax because they have been deemed the essential job creators. The corporations, they create the jobs, is what they're saying. So while the working class, the small business gets wiped out, it doesn't matter. The corporations are all that matters. But yet they're going to tell you you have to pay more and more and more to keep this economic system functional. It's a huge fraud. It's a huge scam. But most people are too worried about football and who won the basketball game, so most people aren't paying attention. I think most of you out there watching this definitely know what's going on. Unfortunately, myself and like-minded people like us are only a very small fraction of the population. I'm going to guess less than 1% of the population really pays much attention at all to the financial system. Sure, they'll look at the news, they'll see the unemployment number, they'll read some articles, but no one really digests how dysfunctional, how impossible this economic system really is. And before this is done, they're definitely going to try to squeeze every last dollar out of everyone. It's going to be maximum debt. They're going to encourage people to take out more debt, more loans, lower and lower interest rates the further we go along, likely negative interest rates in the very near future. It's just a Ponzi scheme that's waiting to blow up. And when it blows up, it's going to get even worse. You think it's bad now, just wait until this system finally hits a glitch or we see some sort of event that's going to trigger this collapse. I'll wrap it up right here. CNBC article, jobless claims were worse than expected amid slowdown in hiring. Well, I don't know who expected the jobless claims to be better. Is this really unexpected or is this really no surprise? Even the jobs that are being created or the jobs that are coming back, a lot of this is just companies rehiring people that were laid off. They're not very high paying jobs. The manufacturing sector has been decimated. We did not see the resurgence of manufacturing that we were told we were going to see. This financial crisis, this economic collapse, is one of the biggest scams ever. You're onto it. You're smarter than that. You are preparing, staying out of debt, preparing for the economic transition, hard assets, safety preparations. Continue to get ready for this situation, folks, because it could get a lot worse. What am I saying? It's definitely going to get a lot worse unless we see a miracle. Stay well, stay safe, everybody. Stay prepared. Peace.